Good evening, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my weekly Sunday share. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. I can see you guys all hopping on. So this week I'm doing a technique for you. I'm going to mix it up every week. I'm going to keep going like the way I was doing before, but it's always going to be on Sunday. One week is going to be card folds. The next week will be techniques. The third week will be 3D projects. And the fourth week, I know you guys all loved my Step It Up Sunday, so that'll be the fourth week. And then if there happens to be a fifth week, it'll be a surprise. You'll have to wait and see. So this is my hostess code for the month of January. Thanks for all of you guys that have placed orders already during celebration. So you should have all received your celebration catalogs and your mini catalogs by now. And great products. And I'm using a bundle tonight called Heartfelt. It's got the stamp set. And then we've got the 2 coordinating punches, which is great. These can layer together. The largest one has the scallops on the outside of it. And then this smaller one layers on top of that one, or you can use them singly. Now, what I wanted to show you, when you turn to page 1, it lists the bundle right here, and then it tells you to look on page 10. So you have 2 samples here that are great to copy. And then let's hop on over to page 10. Look at all of the samples here to draw inspiration from. Isn't that wonderful? And you can change up the colors when you're casing or copying. And then if you go to page 10, you can see all of the items that we have that coordinate. We have some ribbon, we have some faceted gems, doilies, the heart foil tints. I got to show those to you. I haven't used mine yet. Look how big these are compared to my hand. Now you can actually cook with these in your oven. You can bake brownies or cake batter, and then there's a little topper, a little clear topper that goes over these. So I am just in love with all of these products that go with this suite. And it doesn't end there. Some exciting news for those of you guys that are not demonstrators. We have some designer paper coming out on February 4th. It's called Pleased as Punch. There's 3 different designs. So all 4 of these sheets, there's 3 sheets of each design in the package. You'll be able to purchase these. So you can see, let me grab my punches. The first one goes with the Tulip Builder Punch. This one here goes with the small bloom punch that you can earn in celebration. The third one, look at all these cute little umbrellas. Umbrella punch, umbrella builder punch. You can even punch out the little handle from the umbrella. It fits perfectly in there. Now, what I had to do when I cut some of these out, and you'll see some cards soon that I made, I actually had to just take my scissors and go around each piece and separate them, and then they fit right in that punch. And the final sheet goes with the heart punch that I'm using tonight. Look at all the pretty colors. So you guys that are not customers, you'll be able to purchase this starting February 4th, 3rd or 4th. I think it's 4th. And these will be limited supplies as they last. So as soon as this goes live, make sure you get your orders in. Okay, that's my little tip for tonight, that's coming up. Now, let me go ahead and show you the supplies I'm using for tonight's card. Then I'll show you the card. So you saw the 2 punches, the stamp set. And for inks, I'm using Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, Coastal Cabana, and Versamark. We're going to do a little bit of heat embossing tonight. So I've got my white embossing powder, my embossing buddy, glue dots, this pretty new ribbon. Now this is the Grapefruit Grove metallic, silver metallic edge ribbon. And let me see what else. Okay, that's it for supplies. Let me give you the measurements of all the cardstock I'm using. For the card base, Poppy Parade, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This has become my favorite red. I use this a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on the score line. Next, I've got 2 pieces of Whisper White, 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to do the inside tonight. And then this one is for the outside, but I'm going to do something with it. A scrap piece of Whisper White. I just dropped something. And then, let me move all of this aside because we need a whole bunch of cardstock. So Poppy Parade, I've got 2 of each. Poppy Parade, Coastal Cabana, Petal Pink, and Flirty Flamingo. These are all 5 1/4 by 1/2 inch. And this is what the technique is going to be tonight, is using cardstock strips, which everybody has. You can use any color you want. And this is the card we're going to create with it. Now what I've done is I've glued all of the strips down, and then I did the white embossing with the hearts. You can see how pretty that background is. So that's what I'm going to show you how to make tonight. So let's get started. Now, because there's a lot of strips, we're going to add a lot of adhesive because we want all of these to be glued down. So I'm going to add a lot of vertical and then a lot of horizontal. And I'm going to start out, I need to bring something dark so I can see what I'm doing. Let me bring the card back in. So I'm going to start with the Poppy Parade way at the top. And then we're going to go with Petal Pink. Now the trick is to make sure that I'm going to turn this around so I can push towards the seam. So I'm going to do it upside down. Next is Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm using 4 colors. You can use as many colors as you want or as little. And again, these are just little strips of paper that were left over. It's a good way to use up your cardstock strips. Okay, there's Coastal Cabana. And then I'm going to start over with the Poppy Parade. Petal Pink. Flirty Flamingo. And lastly is Coastal Cabana. It doesn't matter if you start out crooked on this. Look, I have a little piece of white there, but I'm going to trim that off anyway. I'm going to bring in my little mini trimmer. Now, you guys, I've had people join my team already. You get this trimmer for free when you join my team during celebration. And look how easy it is to bring this out and chop this up. So I'm going through 2 layers here. A little bit more on this one. And I think the Poppy Parade is okay. Look how tiny that cut. Look how skinny. It went through 2 layers, no problem. Now let's bring in the embossing buddy. I'm just going to put that all over the background. And again, if you're new to this, this is for static. You don't want any of the embossing powder just flopping everywhere. And if you happen to have little greasy fingerprints, it also will fix that. Going to use Versamark ink. And I'm just going to randomly stamp some hearts. I am overlapping. Now, it looks like a watermark right now. The Versamark ink is a very sticky ink. It stays wet for a long time. So you can go ahead and do the whole background and then come back and add your powder. Okay, so I've got the background all stamped. Now I'm going to bring in the white powder. Just going to sprinkle on my cardstock. I like to use a plastic container because everything can fall right back in and it doesn't go all over my workspace. Okay. Oops, I got right in the middle. I missed some. Okay, so now everything's covered with white powder. I'm going to bring in my heat tool. I'm going to make a little bit of noise just for a few minutes. And what we're going to do is melt the powder. So this almost looks like you made your own designer paper. Okay, it's going to start melting. And you'll see as it melts, it turns a brighter white. So that's how you can tell when everything's melted. Hold it up to the light. So you can see the difference in the darkness. Okay, we're about halfway there. So even though this is a Valentine's card, you could do this with any stamp set. Create your own background. Okay, now let me just hold that up to the light, make sure everything's nice and shiny, which it is. I'm just going to press down to flatten it out. Okay, now let's bring in the card base. I'm going to add stamping dimensionals to the background. Because it is a little warped, I'm going to add quite a few just to make sure that it sits on my card base nice and flat. I know what you guys are thinking. I use a lot of dimensionals anyway. That's just an excuse, right? Now we're going to peel all of these off. So you can see how simple it was to add all this color, the splash of color, and then the embossing on top of that. Black embossing would really stand out on these colors too. Okay, now this is going to be glued right to the front. And then we have a little bit of stamping to do. So we're going to use the Poppy Parade and the Coastal Cabana. And this one is my sentiment layer. Happy Valentine's Day. Then we got this fancy doily looking heart. That's very pretty. That's Coastal Cabana. So you're going to see me use both punches tonight. So there's my first one. Now we're going to bring in the scalloped. And I'm just going to show you how, I'm just going to flip it over. Just going to show you how they could layer on top of each other. Doesn't that make a nice layer? So now let me add dimensionals to both of these hearts. And then we'll do a little bit of stamping on the inside. I just thought this was a quick card, so I'm going to go ahead and do stamping on the inside tonight. So I'm just going to put this one at an angle like so. You can tell I inked my ink pad. This one's a lot darker. Then we're going to add the Poppy Parade, and I'm going to put it a little higher only because I've got the bow going on here. Now, where's my ribbon? Oh, there's my ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and create a bow. Now, when I make a bow, my loops are always large, and then I pull in and tighten, pull in and tighten. Very simple. And then cut these at an angle. I don't like large loops on my bows. I just like little tiny loops, and then you can fluff them up by pushing on the ends like that. So now I'm going to add a glue dot. Just add a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to stick that right there. Okay, so there's my card. Now let's go ahead and bring in the white piece to do the inside. Now here's my inside. I'm going to use the same images. So first I'm going to do the little doily heart. And then I have a smaller doily heart that I'm going to do with the Poppy Parade. I'm just gonna layer that just a bit. And my third color is Petal Pink. And all I did with that is add a few of the little tiny hearts surrounding the two big hearts. And let's see, the sentiment, love you lots. That way it leaves a little bit of room there for a little bit of writing. So let me go ahead and glue that on the inside. Oh, I just got some pink on my paper. I should have moved my ink pad. I'm gonna fix that right now while you guys are watching. Here's a little pink heart. There, I just fixed my boo-boo. Okay, so there's my card for tonight. So I'll leave this open on the inside so you can see. There's the front of it. And then let me bring the stamp set over and the two heart punches. Whoops, I just dropped my heat tool. There you go. I hope you enjoyed my card for tonight. And next Sunday for my Sunday share, I'm going to have my 3D Thursday or my 3D project class. Thanks so much for dropping in, everyone. You can hear my heat tool running because it fell on the ground. Hope you have a good week, everyone. See you soon.